Hey there, welcome to the REI Conversion Podcast, where each episode we discuss strategies and digital tools to help you launch, automate, and scale your real estate investing business. Learn how to run your investing business remotely, find out ways to automate your business to better utilize your time, and learn what other successful investors are implementing so you can get to the next step closer to your investing goals. And I'm your host and founder of REI Conversion, Jesse Kwong. How's it going, everybody? I've got my special guest here, Mike. Mike, how are you doing today?
Good, Jesse. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for taking the time out of we just spoke before the show. You are involved not only with family, but a lot of different ventures, and it's awesome to see an entrepreneur yourself, take so much action, and that's exactly what we're sort of talking to you about today. Interestingly enough, you're taking action in a space that I didn't even know that land investors were doing their marketing. But before we get to that, I want to hear a little bit about your history with land investing. How did you get started, and how has that been coming now?
Absolutely. So, about just over a year and a half in now of doing land investing. I still have my full-time job, do a few other side hustles and with the family. But the way I got started is I always knew I wanted to be in real estate. Just didn't know how to get started. Didn't know what wholesaling was. Didn't have a lot of liquid capital to get started.
Sure.
And it was one of those things where I was like, I can't buy houses. I can't buy an apartment building. What could I buy? And land was something that came up, and I ended up doing some of those save searches in Zillow, and waited for something locally to come up. And it's just one of those things that kind of happened where I got an alert, and there was this 8 acres available in Western Massachusetts, where I'm from here, for $5,000. And you don't need to know anything about land or anything about investing to know that 8 acres of land in this area for $5,000 was a deal. And I had no idea what I was doing. I ended up picking it up, going through an attorney, getting that all set up, and ended up closing that deal and kind of 4 timesing my money. And then from there, that's kind of where the journey started, and where I started going through the Facebook groups, like Seth Williams and REI Tipster, and started joining groups. And then I found out land investing was actually a thing that people were doing. So then kind of for the next few months, ingested as much as I could. And then from there, kind of took action and been going at it ever since.
That's crazy, and for those of you guys that sort of have that analysis paralysis kind of thing, and that's what something that we talk about in our past episode with Travis. It's crazy what you can sort of discover when you take action, and obviously you fell upon this semi accidentally, and came across something pretty wonderful here, and that's exactly how I think this is what it's all about on this episode. We're talking about TikTok. Now, I'll be honest here, I don't know much about TikTok other than sometimes I see it on Reddit, and I'm like, man, I'm refusing to get into another social media. Reddit is good enough for me. That's a time suck already. If I need to pass time, I got Reddit now. Like, there's TikTok. Tell me, you are marketing land on TikTok now. Why did you feel an interest to try this platform? What caught your attention there?
Oh, well, it's funny. Everybody talks about their different disposition strategies and things like that. Everybody's using Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Zillow, things like that. And I happened to be on a call with a group of people, and my buddy Pono ended up coming up and saying, "Hey, if you guys aren't on TikTok, you should take a look at that." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, these are teenage girls doing dances. That's pretty much what everybody thinks about what TikTok really is. And then so I joined and just got an idea what it was. Started following a lot of real estate guys, a lot of wholesaling guys, and come to find out, there's a lot of really smart people on there doing a lot of really cool things, dropping a lot of knowledge and a lot of different side hustles. So I said, why not give it a try? And just started putting a few videos out there, and a couple of them completely took off. So that's kind of just how I got started with it.
That's awesome. And how are you finding TikTok compared to the other marketing platforms that are using Obvious Marketplace? I don't know if you're doing it on Instagram. We have a few people that are also killing it on Instagram as well. But how are you finding it compared to other social media platforms?
So I guess I haven't found another social media platform where you can get the type of views and engagement that you can on TikTok.
Mm,
You
mm.
and I'm not a guy who like looks into all the algorithms and does like,
Sure.
oh, you need to do it like this, or you need to follow 10 people in your niche and then like this many videos and then post. I kind of just went for it, and come to find out, a couple of my videos ended up getting a few 100,000 views, and all of a sudden I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I think that any platform that is free and anything that you can utilize like that to get views is something that we should be taking advantage of. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how it started. And from there, uh, I add like a link tree within my profile. So then
Mm,
it gives people an opportunity to, if they like what they hear, click on that, go to my website, which I use the REI conversion websites there, so
mhm.
they would go there and look at my properties for sale, be able to
Yeah.
fill out a form if they're interested in different types of properties that they're
Yeah.
looking for, or if they just want to get on my mailing list. And
Yeah.
through that, I was able to gather 1,500 potential buyer emails in a short period of time because of some
Jeez.
of these videos went and got so many views. And I really think that TikTok is a catalyst to any other social media platform you have.
Yeah.
So when you're
Right.
able to have that link tree and
Yeah.
link it out to your buying website, your selling website, your Instagram, your YouTube channel, just
Yeah.
that amount of volume that you get through TikTok just is such a catalyst towards those other social media platforms. And a
Yeah.
lot of these other sites now are trying to compete with TikTok. So Instagram
Mm,
now has the Reels,
that's right.
YouTube has the Shorts. So
That's right.
it's all these things. I'm trying to utilize those now, and knowing that they're trying to compete, they're really driving a lot of traffic to those. And
That's
it's
right.
really about I try to just give enough information to get someone hooked and be interested in what I say, but not so much that they know everything. So it gives
Yeah.
them that kind of that curiosity to go click and
I
find out
love
more
that.
about me through the other platforms.
I won't go into how you film these. I watched it, and Mike, are you okay if we link this on our show notes so people can have a look at your videos?
Oh, absolutely, please.
And again, I won't go into detail of how you film because you can watch it easily, watch it for yourself. But I have to say how effective it is the way you do it, and it's simple. It's so candid, and I love how you mentioned it's more of a catalyst to get them to pull back to your site, generate those leads. And one thing you mentioned here is also Linktree. Now, I'm going to back it up a little bit. Maybe not everybody knows what TikTok is, and I'm probably going to butcher this, but correct me if I'm wrong. It's a social media platform where you can share videos, short videos. Typically, people know these as, like you said, teenagers dancing on these
Mhm.
on TikTok, and a lot of this kind of goes viral. So it's another social media sharing platform. And then you also mentioned using Linktree, and I think that is a brilliant way. You do see this also on Instagram. Linktree is just a link, right? And when you click on that link, it shows all your different profiles or links or whatever you're involved with, so they can learn more about you rather than only driving them to one location. They can then make a decision of where they want to go and learn more about you, right, Mike?
That's
And
correct. Yeah.
and so I encourage others to check it out. But let me ask you this: what do you have listed on your link tree there typically?
Sure. So on my link tree, I have here's where you can go to buy land.
Yeah,
Here's where you can go to fill out a form if you specifically want a certain kind of land. So it has a form I use that it feeds into my HiveMind CRM and gives me
yeah,
some information there. And then I also have, I'm an affiliate with your websites there. So I have an affiliate link there to say, hey, if you want to have the best, real estate investment website, click here. I
yeah,
have some links to my Instagram, to a private Facebook page that a colleague created that I work with him, where we sell land on there, so we can actually run this Facebook group and pin all our properties that we have on top and kind of run the whole group. So we build our groups through that as well.
yeah.
And I'm trying to think. I think I have a couple other things. My clubhouse
So you
profile on there.
obviously,
Yeah.
it's sort of like a variety of ways to either work with you or find you or get involved with something that you're essentially involved with, right?
Absolutely.
Now, out of curiosity, what is the sort of typical reaction you're getting from your audience on TikTok? Do they message you? Do they just go to your websites and drop their email in? What do you? Obviously, you may not look deep into the analytics of this stuff, and I don't expect you to know that. But generally, what kind of feeling are you getting over there?
Yeah, so it varies on different videos. I've had, like I said, some videos that get a few 100,000 views, and then I have some that get a couple hundred or 1,000. And a
Yeah,
lot of times, I'm just making sure that I'm interacting with everybody. So if they're coming on
right.
and they're putting a comment, I'm replying to that comment immediately.
Mm,
I'm trying to get people to share things, really trying to get engagement on that post. So the more people that are liking it, sharing it,
yeah,
commenting on it, the more people that TikTok is going to show that to. So I just want to make
right.
sure that I'm really engaging with them. And then, I get a lot of updates that says, oh, someone filled out a buyer submission form on your
That's
website. Someone
awesome.
filled in a seller submission form on your website.
That's
So I can
awesome.
tell a lot of the
Yeah,
times when I post something, all of a sudden I'm getting messages. I see that engagement. I run
yeah,
Google Analytics on my website, so
yeah.
I can really look when I post something, and then I pull up the Google Analytics for like the few hours following that. I can see, oh wow, all of a sudden my engagement on my websites went through the roof during this time period. So I'm really just when I go out there and I put content out. I like to look at
Yeah,
all my different avenues in which someone can be interacting with me and try to gauge
right.
what kind of interactions I'm getting.
So, and feel free if you don't want to answer this question. We totally get it. But would you be open to sharing how many deals have you done on TikTok?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's five or six because it's
Wow.
definitely at least five, and the other one it's kind of through the email list in which I do. So
Okay.
getting so many people that go through my TikTok and then submit their emails, I then
Right.
use like my Mailchimp account, and I always do like this like exclusive. You get an opportunity to see my deals 5 days before I put them out to the public, and I'm going to
Right.
give you this opportunity. So I'll like lock the website and even give them a password so they feel that exclusivity that, oh man, I'm getting this deal 5 days before
Like
anyone else.
I think you just said a really cool gem here. Like building that exclusivity, like yeah, everybody has get on my VIP list or get on my whatever buyers list. But the fact that you're stating that it's 5 days prior and being so exact about that, I think that is very very clever on your end. So I absolutely love that. So are there any other social media platforms that you're sort of eyeing out there? I mean, again, TikTok is one that I didn't know that people were actually doing stuff on or doing marketing on. Has there been anything else on your radar that you're thinking about?
Right. So I think TikTok right now is my main one as far as like I said, like being a catalyst there. I mean, I love being on Clubhouse. I get a lot of interaction there as well.
Yeah,
I love talking some land stuff on there. And then it's just with these other social media platforms trying to compete with TikTok because it got so big. And that's where I
right.
reference the reels on Instagram and also the shorts on YouTube. And every time that a new feature is rolled out, whether it be the dictation and the captions that it'll come on the bottom, or if they allow you to do a poll. Whenever
Yeah,
a social media platform rolls out something that's new like that, try to take
yeah.
advantage of it as much as possible
Mm,
because when you do, they are going to really boost your post and try to get
right.
interaction with it. And the more you use all the different features that they make available and that people interact with it, and I'm sure there's someone that knows all the algorithm stuff way more than me, but
Sure.
you just know it's just that feeling. It's like, well, if they're rolling this stuff out and they're giving you these features and you use them and you're getting interactions, they're going to reward you for it. So that's kind of my thought behind it.
You know what, Mike? I think you're playing this game really well. When you talk about social media, I think a lot of people just think, "Hey, I'm going to spit my stuff out there and then leave it to the ether and out there, and whatever happens happens." But I noticed several times you mentioned engagement or interact with them, and I think that's key when we're talking about social media. There needs to be engagement. There needs to be interaction. Aside from that, you're engaging. You're getting involved with these people. You are messaging. You're answering people, but also giving them a clear call to action. And I know that you're doing that in your videos. You list those out also on your link tree. So it's really important for those of you guys that are thinking about posting elsewhere, or whatever it may be, make sure you do have those two things in mind, especially when you're on a social media platform, because you can see, like the way that Mike is handling his posts, things are going viral. There's interaction, there's engagement, and I just had a look at the number of followers on TikTok. I was blown away that how many thousands that you have. So it's insane. Um, Let me ask you this: from having done this, for several properties now, is there anything that you learned that you could be doing better with the videos or the process itself, or something that you already have improved on?
Absolutely. And I would say, as far as my content, a lot of it is really my properties in which I have. And
Hmm.
so if you don't have inventory coming in, all of a sudden you're like, well, what is my content going to be? And I don't do this well. It's something I need to get better at. My buddy Eloy, he has the landpoint.co on TikTok. It does a lot of education. So coming out
Oh,
and
right.
saying like, did you before you buy land, here's three things you should know, boom boom
Yes.
boom, or
Yeah.
here's the three best states to buy hunting land in, and even
Yeah.
being just controversial, controversy, it draws engagement like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
So it's
For
just
sure.
education. Hey, before you buy property, did you know that you should look on your county's GIS website? This is how
Yeah.
you go find it. Here's
Yeah.
where you look at topography. Here's where you look at
Yes.
wetlands and things like that. So
Yeah.
that's something that I don't do well, but it's something I need to spend more time with. Is really the education side. So you're not just always pushing, pushing, pushing. Here's the properties I have for sale. You're adding value to them and educating them and saying, here's what you need to know. Here's what you need to think about. And them seeing you on that social media platform and on others, it's just that it builds like this trust. It's that omnipresence of being able to see you everywhere. It's like, wow, I just saw him on YouTube. Oh, I'm seeing him
Yes.
here. I'm seeing him there. Oh, he's
Right.
giving knowledge. He's not just always pushing something. So that's something I'm trying to get better at and spend some more time with, is coming up with content that's educational that can really, help. I think build your customer base and your fan base.
I think that's so true. When you're adding value to somebody, they will. You're in essence, you're building a lot of trust in that way, and they're going to trust you when they're ready to make that purchase. And funny enough, like what you talked about, this is exactly what we have a script called the buyer lead funnel, and you can grab this as well if you're listening. If you head over to reiconversion.com/blf, it's scripts of when you're dripping out your emails to your buyers list, when you're warming them up for the first time, they're learning about you. One of those emails is exactly it. Record about how to show and research property on the GIS. We want to be able to bring as much value to them, bring clarity, and then essentially build trust. So I think that is a really good point. And for those again who are thinking about it, approaching using social media, I think this is something you can also do as well. Now, uh, let me ask you this: doing social media for a lot of people, they're not fans of it. Maybe it's a huge time suck. Do you have a VA that handles any part of this, or is this all handled by yourself?
No, for the most part, I've been a solopreneur through this whole thing. I actually just onboarded my first VA 2 weeks ago. She handles a lot of my outgoing marketing as far as finding sellers. So we run some SMS campaigns and some due
Sure.
diligence. So that's where she is right now, being a couple weeks in, and I plan on kind of expanding her role there. But as far as the social media and the TikTok and everything, it's really all been myself just running everything.
And you really can see it. I mean, we'll link this again. Just have a look at the way Mike does it. I mean, I don't know how long it takes you. I don't want to say, but it's just so candid. It's so like here it is. Here it is. What it is, and the way you cut it, I think it's brilliant. Again, I think you did a fantastic job with that. So,
Thank
and
you.
I can totally see that it's not something that you probably need someone to handle. Like, let me know, like Mike, how long does it take you to actually? I don't know how to do all the editing on the phone and whatnot. Does it take quite a bit of time, or?
No, it doesn't at all. It's actually I'm recording, my selling website, so I'm literally
Yeah.
just pulling the deals up, and I'm just trying to have some energy out there, and say,
I feel it. Yeah.
get some energy out there. I have my catchphrases. My catchphrases. I'm always like new one, or at the end, I'm like
Yes, that's right.
qualityvacantland.com, and just really, showing some emphasis and some enthusiasm there. So other than that, I'm
Yeah.
literally
I,
recording my laptop screen and just going for it. So, and those cuts, they happen by themselves. So it's literally you're holding a button
oh,
down and you're
yeah.
recording the screen and you let it go. And then you go to
Oh,
something else, you hold it, you let it go. And they're 15-second clips, a lot of them. And
yeah.
I'll drop a little nugget about it is I know as far as the algorithm and getting more views and the way that they note it, they want someone to watch that whole video. So you have
Mm,
an opportunity. You can do a 60-second video, but if someone
sure.
watches 55 seconds of it, I don't believe it counts as a view. So those little
Oh, wow.
15
Okay.
second ones,
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of time to get everything in, but you get enough to just, lure them in and say, make sure you go to my website, qualityvacantland.com, click on my link tree, go there, and then, the rest kind of goes from there.
Brilliant. It's literally you filming your website, and it just, yeah, the energy in it. Awesome. So do check that out if you're listening. Mike, I thoroughly enjoyed I was just watching this. Like, I was like, this is really this is blowing my mind what people are doing out there now. Um, Thank you so much for being open to sharing these kind of things, and sort of passing forward your knowledge. I know it's not easy for a lot of land investors to do this. There's a sense of competition and whatnot. So again, I'm really thankful that you're able to share with our audience, and I'm sure a lot of people who are listening. And believe it or not, a lot of people are struggling, getting their land business up. And I think this will help a lot of people open their eyes, at least, to different things that they can try out. Now, Mike, anything else that you want to share in terms of advice when it comes to your TikTok or social media marketing? Anything that we didn't really touch on that maybe you wanted to wrap up with?
No, I think it's really just the common phrase about taking action with anything. You might fail, you might be unsure of yourself, but it's one of those things that, the more and more you think about it and don't do it, you get even more unsure. So it's just go out there and do it, just like anything else. It takes your bumps and bruises, or, but get out there and just make it happen. And, content's content. It's going to work. You're going to get views, and if you feel someone's going to make fun of you or something, that's all good too. That's even more views. So it's don't worry about it. Just be happy, have fun with it, and
Yeah,
I
right.
think just go
I
for it, and
definitely
you'll
can
be great.
see you're having a lot of fun with it in your videos. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, really? I mean, you're gonna not get a sale from it, but hopefully it goes the other way. But
Yeah,
Mike, thank you very much for coming on to this episode here. As I always try to keep these episodes short and actionable and valuable. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences selling land and marketing land on TikTok.
absolutely. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, Mike.
Thank you.
Before you stop this podcast or head to the next episode, I want to personally thank you for listening to this episode of the REI Conversion Podcast. If you found this helpful, we'd greatly appreciate an awesome review and rating on whichever platform you're listening to this on. And if you have 2 minutes and wanted to step it up even more and help others, feel free to share this in other Facebook groups or pages or any communities, giving others a heads up of the REI Conversion Podcast or this specific episode that may help them on their investing journey. Once again, thanks very much for listening, and catch you on our next episode.